that was the first, remember I said trial and error. The first round, the second round, the third round. The third round, all over the place. The third round was me getting my cups and my black marker at this. Is the sweet baby one because I planted two different kinds. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you for just taking the time out to just hang out with me, plant lovers. Today we're just gonna go over a few things. One of the most important things I was doing when I first put this green stock together, um, I'm not mad at myself. I'm kind of proud. I'm still proud, okay? That's one thing I think we all need to understand is that we need to give ourselves some grace and be proud of ourselves. Remember when I put these little babies inside of here? If you've been following me and you remember how I planted this whole green stalk and what I stressed over, what I wanted to put in the pockets and which ones and what I didn't want to plant next to it. Yeah, this is the ones that I secession sold from the milk carton. No, no, the milk carton. I apologize. The egg carton. I Succession sold this from the egg carton and it grew so much. But now I'm gonna leave it in here for now until the weather gets a little bit warmer. Because with lettuce, you don't really, it depends on the type as well. I'm gonna leave this one in here. And let it grow because you can get a bitter lettuce when the temperature starts to increase and get hotter. Um, This one I've been eating from. I have one over there behind me I've been eating from. But the reason why I want to change a lot of things in this green stock, number one, we are in May, right? We're about to go into June and we are about to hit that summer heat. Now, my tomato is right here, right? And where is my pepper? My pepper is right here, right? Do I have another pepper in here? And I have another pepper down here. This is my hot pepper. This is my regular pepper, red bell pepper, sweet pepper. And then this is my cherry tomato. And this is my strawberry plant. Okay? Now, before I get to anything else that we have to take out, I've been doing some research on companion planting, on companion, what to plant with your plants, like how I have my peach tree and the herb right there. So basically, I'm planting them maybe with, I'm planting either in the green stalk, right? Such as you see this marigold right here at the top. And then I have a marigold, another marigold in here planted as well, right here at the bottom on the second shelf. And I think I have, and I have one at the top. Now, those plants are companion plants that's going to be beneficial to certain plants. That's what companion plants basically are. They're beneficial to certain plants, okay? Now, and I say it like that because there's different plants that can help different plants at different seasons. For instance, if I'm talking about my strawberry plant, right? Peas is a good companion plant for strawberries. But because we are going into the summertime and the heat, peas is not going to be something that you actually want to
have as your companion plant in your green stalk. And the reason why you want to have your peas as a companion plant is because it's going to give off that natural nitrogen when it does die off. So adding peas, I will do something next year. I'm going to add the peas right after the frost is over. Okay, I'm going to leave my strawberry in there. I'm going to add my peas in there when it's time to add it in there. And then when it gets too hot and the peas die back, then it dying back is going to leave, I apologize, it's going to allow the soil to benefit and give the strawberries whatever it's supposed to give, that good nitrogen, okay? But now the thing is, I need to plant the bush beans, the peas at the top somewhere if I'm going to do that. So that's a next year thing. So let's get back to 2026. 2026. So my strawberries is up here. That's the only one that I have so far. And this is my spinach, okay? This is my spinach, right? Because it grew so much. Yes, this is my spinach. Now, your spinach, it's also considered a cold crop. And with cold crops, you don't want your crops in the heat to bolt, to wilt and stuff like that. Again, like I said, taste bitter. So spinach, I'm going to be taking it out eventually, not right now because the weather is still cool at nighttime. It's still getting that nice daytime sun. And plus, where I have it, I can turn it to where it's getting shade. So I am going to leave that in right now. So the strawberry, the spinach is going to stay right now. The marigold is definitely staying. I'm going to remove my lettuce. I'm definitely going to remove, well, let's go back to the lettuce. I'm going to remove the lettuce because it's almost done. I don't want it to grow anymore. I have another lettuce that is in a pot by itself that is doing, so I'm going to replace this with something. I'll get to that in a minute. The broccoli. This is a whole story. This broccoli is a whole story. So, broccoli is in the, I think you say brassica family, with the cabbage, with kale, right? Now, they are heavy feeders, meaning, and also another thing, they don't like the heat. Okay, so broccoli, cabbages, anything in the brassica family, they do not like the heat. They are cool weather crops. Okay? And they are also heavy feeders. So you see how I have it in the same tier, right? In the same tier as the strawberries. That's a no-no, and that's why I'm kind of upset at myself. But this is a learning curve, and this is where I won't do this again. But now I'm kicking myself because I should have got another green stalk. I did get one for my mother, but when there is another deal, I'm going to get another green stalk, and I'm going to be prepared for next year. And I am going to have a strawberry only planter. That's exactly what I want. Only strawberries. Because now I see why, when I was watching a couple of the Queen's channels, and I noticed that they only had strawberries in their green stalk, and one of their green stalks. And I'm thinking to myself, like, no, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to have too many green stalks, and I'm going to utilize the pockets I have, not understanding about companion planting, not understanding of what not to plant with certain things, and what has deeper roots, and what's heavier feeders, things like that. We really have to take into consideration. In my other video, if you haven't seen it, I will have that link for you. Watering. I just did a watering video. And that watering video gave us so much tips on um, when to give your plants water, how to give your plants water, and so forth, so forth. Now I see why my plant, the brassica family, was a little bit thirstier than my other plants. And it's because they are heavy feeders, they are thirsty, and all sorts of things. And I'm thinking that it wanted more sun, and I was giving it more sun. So it could have been getting heated up, hence to the speckles that it is getting. So I'm going to keep it in the shade a little bit more, and the sun is going down now, so I apologize about that. And this one also is broccoli, and that one is turning. Yeah. So I'm going to remove this broccoli. I'm going to remove this broccoli. I'm going to remove that like today, tomorrow, like not today, tomorrow. And then I'm going to remove the lettuce. Not this one. I'm going to keep this one here. But I'm going to remove this one. Okay, because we're almost, I'm going to just take this so we can eat this. I am also going to remove the spinach eventually, just not right now. Okay, so the thyme, perfect where it's at. Okay, you want the thyme at the top. Oregano in here, perfect. I wish it was at the top. So, no, I'm not doing that. What I am going to do is, which one is this? This is thyme. This is thyme. I think I'm trying to get oregano. This one is sage. Okay, so I don't know if it said sage. This is lemon balm. Oh, boom. We're going to put lemon balm at the top. Okay, so we're going to put lemon balm at the top. And plus it helps with insects and stuff. These things give, I'm sorry, I'm over here pointing at something else. And you see how I have mint at the bottom in a pot? If you want to, which you see I didn't try it, okay, because mint, this mint, when I put this in this pot, it was not that big. It was way smaller. So mint grows very vigorously. But if you want to try a small piece of stem inside at the bottom only, because it's going to grow so big, most likely it's going to become a trailing plant, okay? So put it at the bottom and watch it flourish. But it's also going to help with your bug situation, because we're going through this video because I've learned that having brassicas, broccoli, cauliflower, anything brassica in there with strawberries, when you're trying to grow strawberries, because I have another strawberry, I want to plant my strawberry inside my planter. And I have this strawberry, I want to plant my strawberries inside this planter. But doing that can bring certain types of bugs. And I think it was called cabbage worms or something like that. Yeah, I don't want to bring cabbage worms, and next thing you know, it has holes inside of my leaves for my strawberries and all sorts of things. So we're just being intentional about what we're moving out of the green stalk, okay, and what we're going to put inside of the green stalk. And plus, also, it was another tip I just remembered when I was doing some research and watching this video and reading this book. It said that tomatoes and peppers, they give off something called nightshades. Yeah, and then that's where the strawberries, they begin to wilt and stuff like that. So either, I'm not saying that you can't plant like tomatoes and peppers inside of with the strawberries, which I am going to move now that I remember that. because I wanted to just keep it there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to move my tomatoes because I don't want nightshade to, and I have my strawberries right there, right there, right there, right there, and then my pepper is right there. So it's like 1 2 1 2. No, I don't want anything to happen to my strawberries. I love strawberries too much. So I definitely want to move this plant. You can put your tomato small bush either at the bottom or a small pepper one at the bottom. So I'm not saying that you can't have it in there with it, but just put it away. So if I have my strawberry right here, I would have my tomato that's right here. I would put it at the bottom on the opposite side. So it will be away from the strawberry. And then the same thing with my pepper that's over there. I would put that at the bottom again, away from my strawberry. So then now, because I have 2 other strawberries I want to plant, I will plant them next to it on the top tier. And then maybe on the second tier next to it again, right under the strawberry. But I wouldn't plant them in the lower tiers. You gotta give it more water. You gotta give it water. They're thirsty. Think of it like this: when you water something like that, it's just you just watering the. Ooh. Huh? You saying something? Oh, this is gorgeous. Okay, queens. This is a new day. Okay, we spoke on how we were going to replant our planter, right? Our green stalk, and take out our spinach, eventually spinach, because the weather is still cool, and take out the peppers and tomato. Okay, and then as you can see already right there, that tomato is thriving. So it's like I want to leave it because I have 2 more tiers. I think I'm gonna leave that because I have 2 tiers, and then the strawberry. Remember, we were moving the tomato and the pepper because the we were moving it. Remind myself, Selena, reminding my own self. We were moving it also because the pepper and the tomato releases off some type of something, okay? I will put that on the screen, okay? Because I don't have my notes in front of me. But we don't want to harm the strawberry. So we are going to get, you see that tomato cage right there? We're going to get it probably, because I do have more pots. Or I may just utilize my own pots. Okay, planters, beginner, planting, gardening. I think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna utilize what we already have, so we don't have to overspend and stay on budget. Okay, because we said if you go back and watch the story that we did, the shorts. I'm sorry, the shorts that we did. You will see that we are trying to not spend any more money, but because I haven't really focused on my yard and showing you queens my yard much, but we are also focusing on the yard and mulching and doing all sorts of little things, okay, fixing it up and everything like that. So that is why we are being intentional and utilizing what we already have instead of spending and spending. Okay? There goes my handsome oldest son right there.
I'm about to text my doggy dog.
Yes. There goes my youngest
No.
son right there.
No.
No violence on camera.
Touch me. More dirty N-word.
No, the violence. They're doing yard work in the back. I
Making some water?
do it yourself, and there goes the thunder.
Making some water, Justin.
Dad said he wanted to record himself doing the process. Go ask him right now. Does he still want to record himself doing the process? The beginning and the end. He'll have to record the whole thing.
How you sweater? You didn't do nothing.
And then here, I'm gonna take you guys to my zucchinis. This needs to be moved into a bigger pot, okay? Because these are my zucchinis. Look, this one said this has 2, this has 1, and then this has 2 over here. I need to repot my zucchinis before they get too wild. What happened? And then there we have these as well. Before we move on, can we just talk about how this kale, no, I'm so sorry. How this lettuce, okay? I don't know why I said kale, because kale was on my mind. How this lettuce did not look like this when I woke up this morning. It did not. I'm just so proud of myself because I struggled with these collard greens. It kept spotting, it kept turning yellow. It just kept. And I kept trying. And that is what life is about. You have to keep trying, okay? So that is exactly what I teach my kids. It's exactly what we have to keep trying, because I don't know what I expected when I got these things. What I expected was to feed my family, okay? I have to move this plant because I have to give it some nitrogen. I have to give it some fertilizer, fish fertilizer. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give it some fish fertilizer because this is one of my tropical plants, philodendrias, and yeah, it's from my inside. Before I put it back in the house in winter time, I like to spruce up my dirt, make sure there's no little bugs in there, all sorts of things like that. But that's not what this video is about. I will do a house planting video, whatever you call it. I'm like trying to hurry up before this storm starts. Now I have to do research on my bok choy because it's growing profusely. I just don't know when to harvest it. So if someone can help me with that, I don't want to waste it. Maybe I will harvest it soon. I don't know what these little things are on here. I guess I'll clean it off. They look like white little, I guess, bugs. I'll clean them off before it gets to my collard greens. Let me move this. You move over here. Okay, we're gonna go. And I said I was gonna do a plant of the day when I do a video, and I think that my plant of the day is this lettuce. Had to get that little bug off of there. It's this lettuce, and I am going to make sure I harvest these soon. But it's this lettuce because we've been eating off of the one over there in the green stalk. That's the one we've been eating off of, and it's been growing really well. Even right now, harvesting it 2 days ago, it seems like it's wanting to grow again. So I'm gonna make sure I replace that one. I'm replacing the lettuce and the peppers because we don't want to ruin the strawberry. Remember that. And the spinach. Remember that, okay? So the plant of the day is this gorgeous plant of lettuce. Okay, vegetable of lettuce. That is what it is today. But Here we have more things. I have it written down inside of my book of what these are. But this was my first round. This was my third round. This was my second round. So my second round of this is I wrote it on the top of the carton, right? I had the cart inside so I can know what each row is. That's my second round. This is my third round. So my third round, whatever cups I used, I put the name and the date of when I planted the seeds. You see? So that was helpful. So trial and error when you want to identify and know what you're planting. Even though, and I had them in certain cups. I have crimson watermelon. Is it the crimson watermelon or is the baby one bush? Well, I know one is watermelon, one is melon. I can't even think what the other one is, but they're just now actually coming through. This one, whatever this one is at the time, I do not see anything coming through. And these just started to come through. And we are in the month of May. And I did these in April. Started them in the house. This right here that I'm picking these from, this came through right away. Okay, that came through right away. So that was a success. These two just started to come through. Okay, maybe because right now, though it's dry, I was taking it inside and outside, and I was trying to figure out, because it was too cold for them seedlings to be outside. So I just wanted to maintain and control its environment. And in this one, I really don't see coming through either, but I do see a little something right there, if you can see that too. Yeah, that's the only little thing I see. But besides that, I think I see like flying little buggies. But is that normal basically? Yeah. So we have watermelon crimson sweet baby. Yeah, crimson sweet. So this watermelon over here basically is the sweet baby one, because I planted two different kinds. Okay, oops, before I drop this. Okay. And then we have our melons. And then we have our basil. Our zinnias. And again, we're going to be potting up our zucchini. So, as we turn to the young lady of the day getting off the bus, here we go. Let her present herself getting off the bus. She can't stand when I do this. Dun-dun-dun! Do that, gorgeous young lady. Acting like she's on the phone. Okay, so as I take you to the yard, we had to get more mulch. Because we want to put my hydrangea eclipse, and not have to worry about my sons and them clipping my hydrangea because of the grass. So this is where I have the tree at, and I kicked the tree down. So I put the bags there, and I have that there until the pins come, so I can stake them into the ground. And then I am going to put the mulch over the garden bags, the landscape bags. I'm thinking of putting dirt because this is what I did over here. This was all just nothing but grass. So I sat there and did all of this with dirt first and then mulched it. Did I put the bag down first? No, we did not put the bag down because I did not have the bag. I have to think. Did I put the bag down? I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. But I know we put the garden edges down, so we cut the grass, but my sons were so busy, they have to do the edging part. Right now, they're doing the backyard. That you will see the process as well. And look at this. These babies are growing. Look at that. I know y'all see that. That is growing. Y'all remember when it was babies? Yeah. Still nothing is coming through here, but I'm going to keep trying. My amaryllis plants, once I moved it to over here where the sun is much brighter, it did justice. Okay? Even my other hydrangea plant, I moved it over here from my shadier garden, and it started to thrive, just like moving my baby hydrangeas. Once we're going to do a hydrangea video, and we're going to say what all the hydrangeas are. Once I moved it from my porch area right there, they started to thrive as well. So the trick basically is the sun is bright over here in the evenings, and in the daytime, so it gets lots more than 7 hours of sun. And this is my baby. This is my baby that I started from basically bare root. It's not basically, I started from bare root. And this banana plant is doing amazing. I cut it back. I cut one leaf off, left that leaf, and it was opening, and it is doing amazing. And inside, it already looks like there's one growing. But coming back, that is my banana plant, and I can't wait for it to grow some bananas. This is finally growing through. I'm happy about that. I guess I didn't pot that one too well, but it's doing something. I think on my lupin, it's probably dry. My marigolds. I planted some lavender in some of these things. I have another amaryllis plant. I'm gonna go sit down because I am on my cane today. I have autoimmune disease. I just think that this is the cutest thing before I go sit down. The pot got stuck together, and that's a pot inside the pot, and it got stuck together. So instead of throwing it out, I just put the mint pot inside that pot, like one of the pots, decoration pot that I see often. And then here goes these plants growing beautifully. I think I'm gonna take some of this back so my daylilies can show. It looked like some of the seeds I potted down is starting to grow. So we're gonna go sit down and then come back to this. Okay, we are back, okay, plant lovers. Okay, we are inside the house now. I know you don't really see plants like that, but I have plants everywhere. They're behind you. They are behind you, okay? Let me just show you a little bit of my plants. Plants, plants. We are going to do, and then I have plants all in that window, and then I have plants all in my kitchen window as well. So let's get started. We was just outside. I came inside because I have autoimmune disease. I have lupus and fibromyalgia, and my joints starts to hurt after a while. My knees are really killing me today. It was supposed to be a storm, but the sun is coming back out anyway. But it seems like it's finicky. It got hotter. But we were talking about what we are taking out of the green stock and what we are putting inside of the green stock because of the tomato and the pepper that's inside of the green stock, because it gives where's that book, a certain type of energy that attracts to it, what type of bugs that comes to it, like some type of worm, cabbage worm, that's one of them. And then you have nightshade. You have nightshade that the peppers and the tomatoes can get, and which can cause your strawberries to get something that basically you don't want your strawberries to get because you did so much hard work on growing your strawberries, regardless if it's from a baby plant to you having it this first year. This is my second year having one of my strawberry plants, and I am very happy that I even survived with that plant, okay? But what we did plant from seed was some summer squash. So that is what you do see outside inside of the egg carton. We also planted, is the peas. See now, in that growth inside of that little Chinese little container, right? The clear container, I have peas. Now, peas is a cold crop vegetable seed that you want to grow more in the cold time, to get that cool weather, Now, you want to do this right after the frost kind of thing, or you also want to start with this at the end of your summertime, like the end of August, September, wherever your zone is at. Start planting your seed, your peas then. And maybe inside the house or whatever, and then transfer them outside. I'm newbie to this. I'm just doing what I think makes sense for my zone, because we start to get cool around, I'm not going to say September. I'm going to say more of October, November is when we start to get cool. Okay? Because it's still a little bit warm, hot in September for us. But peas is a cool crop, and it also is a beneficial plant for your strawberries. So this is something that I am looking up for my strawberries companion planting. I know there's a lot of YouTube vloggers that basically don't really do companion planting, or maybe they do companion planting, and I've learned a lot from them, to the part of not doing it and to doing it. I have a tree that's like a little bit over my whole yard technically, but it's not over my green stalk. But because it's a big tree, I'm just thinking all of the critters that's inside of there and stuff like that, do I really want to risk it? So I did plant some marigolds. I do have lavender around my yard for the snakes. For the snakes. She knows. She knows. But Lavender. Always try to see what plants basically will help you in the area that you're looking for. Like I also have dares that come around here, so I have some salvia in the front. I know I didn't say just do that. I know I didn't just do that. Yeah, so I have some salvia in the front of my yard by my mailbox outside of the gate. We just put the gate up last year, so the salvia will help those dares and stuff like that because I have a lot of roses in my front yard as well. Basically, that's that talk. We just planted our squash. We're gonna do a sunflower video because we planted sunflowers just willy-nilly. We just put the seeds down because we have new neighbors and they're so nice. But I do want to have something growing up for it. You know, start to gain some little bit of privacy. But it's not a lot of room, but I figured the sunflower there would be pretty to have. I don't know. So this is a trial and error for the sunflower, okay? And oh, those were zinnias inside of the front garden bed. Because I remember I said this, oh, look at the plants growing, the flowers the seeds that we threw down. I threw down zinnias, okay? I threw down so much zinnias. And you know, I just found out that the lettuce, I'm looking at all my, the seeds I have. I even have some on my lap right now. I'm noticed that the lettuce that I have in my green stalk, that is black seeded Simpson. Now, this lettuce is okay for summer. So I said that I was going to take the ones that's growing, the baby ones that's growing in there. I'm actually going to leave it in there because these are okay for the sun and the heat of summer. Because lettuce is actually a cool weather crop as well. But you have to find the right variety. And I think that's what I searched up, that the black seeded Simpson was the one that will make it for summertime. So not all is lost. Not all is lost. And another thing is, the giant, like the lettuce giant Caesar, I didn't open because this is one that you have to plant early spring. This is one that is that they want the coolness. I had a tongue twisting just now, okay? But this is a cool weather crop. So it depends on, you have to do your research when it comes down to what you're really getting. Because obviously this is lettuce. The other one that I have right here is also lettuce. But which one will do for the season that you are in? So going into June, because we are in May, I planted the black seeded one last month in April. And this is going to basically last me for my summer. Now, the giant Caesar one lettuce, I'm going to plant in the end of, like the end of August. Well, I'm going to say the end of August because it seems like the lettuce that's in the green stalk now, when I started from seed, it didn't take long at all for it to start. I just want to make sure it's not going to be bitter compared to being what it's supposed to taste like, just right, okay? That's what matters when you are picking the correct seed for when you want to plant in the season that you want to plant, okay? So that's what I'm talking about. And I just noticed, right? I don't have any beans. And beans is what I want to plant inside of my green stalk because I have peas. I have the one that you've seen in the container, right? With the roots growing. Love it. I'm going to bring that inside the house because once we put the air conditions up, I think that's where the coolness is going to be for those vegetables. The vegetables that need the coolness, provided the lighting that it still needs, and give it the coolness that it needs. Haha. There's a trick to grow all season long. But I have to sneeze. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, this is what I got from the library. It was Pea Snap Sugar Daddy, and then this one is Easy Peasy Pea. And they both are something that you basically start for fall crops and stuff like that. And you can start it now, but cool weather. Let me just say it like that. Cool weather. They will do better. It probably tastes much better, sweeter, all sorts of things like that with the right conditioning. So do your research. I am not a pro. I am growing with Selena, okay? And these we're gonna save for our green stalk when the strawberries are going to be good at the time. They say it like that. So when it's time for us to grow these, we're gonna grow them in the green stalk. They're gonna do wonderful in this green stalk, and when it's time for them to die back, it's going to leave whatever the strawberries need. I don't know what that is because it's inside of my notes, okay? In my book. I don't have it in front of me. But whatever that is, oh, the nitrogen. That's what it is. I'm learning, I'm growing. It's going to give the nitrogen, leave that inside of the dirt, okay, plant lovers? And your strawberries are going to be nice, sweet, and mwah. Okay, so that is what that does for your plant. So this is what we're going to save for when it's time to plant. We're going to plant it in the green stalk. Boom. Squash, we are going to do in its own pot. And what I did notice is that I have more than one squash. And that is what it was. I planted, I think, 3 squashes, 3 different types of squashes. I have to make sure. Did I plant the yellow squash? No, I did not. No, I'm saving this one for, I want to say next year, but not next year. Yeah. It takes 10 to 14 days for this. It needs full sun, 6 hours at least. But I just want to try this in a good season where it's growing really good. Like I said, you can help things grow all year round if you can give it the right conditions. Because if it's hot outside, you're not gonna want to be hot inside. You're gonna want to be cool inside. If it's cold outside, right, and it's giving cool crop energy, then basically your house is gonna give warm crop energy, right? Along with the right airflow. The right airflow, just like how our plants love it. The right temperature, the right humidity, the right airflow and watering. And I'm moving my broccoli from out of the green stalk. I'm just doing it, okay? And I'm moving the spinach as well. But I did learn, I haven't done the research yet, but I've learned that spinach, if you find the right one as well, you can also grow spinach in the summertime. With the right one, because spinach as well can die back and bolt and all sorts of things and give off a different type of energy that your other plants don't want. Yeah, that's what that does. But these chives, I wasn't really too interested in growing chives, but when I seen it at the library and I picked it up, shout out to my library, okay? I picked it up and I know it helps with deterring snakes. So I am all about that energy, okay? Now, I don't really like onions, but my family likes onions, okay? But I will make an onion dip. Okay, I like those dips. And there was something else. It benefits one of the plants. And I'm not going to just make it up right now and say what I think it is. I'm going to make sure that I do the research and provide that information in another video, okay? But yes, it actually, chives are really good to deter snakes and bugs and all sorts of things like that, whatever it does. But it also is a benefit for your plants that you don't want to have ruined, not just snakes. And for some other people, they just love onions and it tastes good to them. But the dip is amazing. I sound like my son now. He doesn't like tomato sauce, but he loves ketchup. He eats ketchup on everything. He will not eat spaghetti. He will not eat a lot of certain things with anything. If it's not ketchup, he's not having it, okay? He's not having it. So inside of that round, I know we should be outside. I'm gonna have the video up there. Inside of the round bowl with the 4 pots, one was watermelon. This is one is cantaloupe, not watermelon. Cantaloupe, watermelon. Do I have other ones? I know I have another one. And where is the other one? I want to say cucumber. Cucumber. I don't think it was a tomato. Oh, another one is watermelon. Wait, watermelon, cucumber, cantaloupe. What was the other one? I guess we'll see when it comes out. I want to say it was the tomato cherries. Severe thunderstorm, it says. Yeah, it was it had to be. See, my defense, that was the first, remember I said trial and error. The first round, the second round, the third round. The third round, I finally caught on to writing it on the cups, black marker. Boom, the first round was a hit and miss. I figured that I can put the seed packets behind them, but because I was in and out with them so much because of the weather change, that really didn't help me. So instead of still going back to go write a marker on them of what they were, it didn't resonate with me with doing so much yard work, housework, kids work, wife work, okay? But then the second time, basically, I figured if I'm doing it in the A carton, then let me write on the top of the A carton. But then as you're watering it, of course, the A carton is breaking down. So let me just move the top of the A carton and put the A carton on the side. So when I personally know what is what, okay? So that kind of helped me, but not really suitable because then it's just all over the place. The third round was me getting my cups and my black marker and writing down exactly what it is that it is and the dates. Hopeful. And then I write it inside of my journal. So that is what has helped me. That is what we're going to do for our green stock, for our potting. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start that process. We're going to get the dirt amended, okay, because we got to pull out the peppers, we got to pull out the tomatoes, and we're going to allow another plant to go in there. I'm not sure if Did I mention what I was gonna put in there? I did. I gotta go back in the video and go watch what I said I was gonna put in there, okay? But yeah. And then I will come back and update you queens on what I really, because you know things always change. I may end up changing my mind. I hope not, okay? But we do have a lot of planting. Oops. We do have a lot of planting to do. A lot of taking plants out of other pots like lavender and putting it in one big pot, okay? Just a few tweaking before it gets too hot. We don't want to do any potting and planting really when it gets too hot, because then I feel as if we're going to stress the plant out. Think about when you're aggy because you're too hot and you feel sticky and you feel clammy and you just don't you're stressed. You can't even think past go. You want water, you want something to eat, but you don't know what you want to eat. You want something light, but you're hungry. That's the summertime. Give me some ice. Give me an icy. Feed me in the daytime, early in the a.m. when I wake up, because hopefully I'm not that hot. Just like your plants. Water them before. Go watch my video. But go water your plants in the a.m. because then they're not too hot. The sun is not beating them up and just evaporating that water up. And then your grass and your plants and everything is just still thirsty. So thank you for just joining me and just taking the time out to just have fun with me. But queens, you make sure everything you do it the right way. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to share this with another plant lover that's beginning her gardening journey. So